Hey, I'm back again. Remember, we were going to go do 9 centimeters, and I have 9 centimeters right here. And even better, more important actually, it's got to end on this, but at the end of the purl row. Okay, so here's what's happening now. We need to make a little bit of an inset for the armholes. That's this part right here on our drawing. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually bind off a couple of stitches here and here. Binding off is basically you're not going to knit anymore, so you're going to end it. End it all. And in this case, because of the size of it, if I take off 4 stitches here, there's going to be some pretty deep arm insets. Okay, so we're actually only going to do 3, and I know odd number. I'm like my inwardly I am cringing at doing an odd number, but on the other hand, it's better to have it the right size. So I'm going to take 3 of them off on each side. The way you do that is you get some yarn from the other side of your ball. Pong. All right. First thing you have to do is take some of this yarn off of the other end of your yarn ball, or any similar color. If you have 2 balls of the same yarn, you use that. But anyway, so it's the same color, same yarn, but I just pulled some off from the other side. Okay, you need a little chunk of it. Don't worry if you have too much, but do worry if you have too little. So I just wrapped it around my fingers a few times this way, and then a few times that way, and then a few times this way again. So I have a little ball. Okay. Have this ready. You're going to sit right there. What I'm going to do is bind off 3 stitches. How do you do that, you may say, if you've never bound off anything in knitting before. Okay, well first we're going to knit regularly. Ba-bum. I did not slip that stitch. I knit it. Okay. Now we're going to knit one more, and we're going to slip this stitch over the other one and off of the knitting needle. Let me do that a little closer. So that's 1. Here's 2 that we're binding off, and 3 that we're binding off. Now, I am going to knit all the way to the end of the row. All the way to the end of the row. Okay, so there's dang, ga-dang, ba-ding, ga-ding, ga-doom. Doodle-doo-doo-boo-doo. John is really going to appreciate this. My little dolly has not had... Oh, I keep fudging. Alright, my dolly has not had a sweater yet. And obviously all of my other dolls have sweaters. But he doesn't. He seems to like the color gray because he's white and pale. Wait, there are 3 stitches on the end. Should I bind those off? Nope, not yet. Doom-ba-doom-ba-doom. Boom-ba-doom-ba-doom. Look at that. We knit all the way to the end. So this one has a little bind off area, and this side does not. Worry not, my friends. Here is where this comes in. Okay, we're going to bind off these 3. 1. Wait a minute, I'm knitting, not purling. Doesn't matter, we're going to bind them off. Because, okay, so there's binding off 1, 2, and binding off numero 3. Now, I'm going to purl the rest of these. Hey, Rana, you want to tell me what that other yarn is for? You already took out the yarn. What is the other ball of yarn for? Well, we're getting to that in just a few mo's. Okay. Now, we do not have very long before we have to make a neck for this thing. Okay, all right, so here's my armholes. Wow, magic! They look almost the same. Yeah, because they are almost the same size. And again, dollies don't care. But we're also going to be sewing these in. So it doesn't matter times 2 because we're sewing up the seams, right? Boom, boom. Which is why it doesn't matter if I knit or purled in here. All of these are going to disappear when we sew in the sleeves. Got it? Okay. Now, I'm going to do 2 rows. I'm going to knit 2 more rows. Across and back again. And then we are going to use this. And we're going to make a neck for our sweater. Easy knitting, purling, knitting, purling. It's actually, you know, very soothing after you've been sitting around doing absolutely jack shamundo for a long time. My cat is asleep in her little box, so she will not disturb me right now, even with squiggly yarns all over the place. Okay. And we're going back to slipping the first stitch. That gives me a sewing stitch, remember. Boom, 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 purl, purl, purl. Okay, I've got a little bit of a hand sweaty problem going on. I know this is like probably TMI for some of you, but it doesn't really matter to me. It's summer. Hands sweat and they stick to yarn and they stick to needles and they stick to everything, so sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to get through to the end. Alright, so now I'm going to do one more. Did I say 2 rows? I meant 4. I meant back and forth 2 times. Because what we're doing is we're going up and then we're going to make the neck. And when we make the neck, we have to bind off some of the middle stitches. Well, binding off is, you know, on the ends is pretty easy, as we just did. You just kind of undo what you did, right? Slip it off, we're finished. But on the neck, it's a little bit different. Now remember, these things go up really fast. So if you wanted a V-neck or something, you would actually bind some off right in the middle between the arms. I don't like V-necks though. I've made V-neck sweaters before. I'm not really a big fan of them. Oh, yeah. Anyway, personal preference. We can all have them. I suppose I could show you a V-neck sweater eventually, but I don't really want to right now. Now, if you want to make a sweater vest, V-necks are great. If you want to make a cardigan, V-necks are fine. And I'll show you a cardigan after I do the pullover. Pullover first, though. Okay, now I have gone through my 2 rows. Knit, purl, and then 2 more rows, knit, purl, and I need to count my stitches again. I should have, what, 14? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That looks like 14 to me. I need to take off 4 stitches in the middle, which means doing some math. 14 minus 4 is 10, divided by 2 is 5, so I'm going to knit 5 stitches and then do some stuff. Okay. Knit 5 stitches. This is going to be the shoulder. 5 stitches across the shoulder. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it is really a lot. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Here's where the super special trick comes in. And the other ball of yarn. This is going to be my shoulder seam. And I'm only going to do this maybe like 2 more rows with the shoulder. But we need to take these 4 stitches off. Now I can't just knit and bind off 4 stitches right here, because then I'm stuck and I need this part also knit, but not with a big loop in between. So this is where this comes in. We're going to attach it. I'm not actually attaching it. I'm just taking a longish lead on it, and I'm going to knit. Now this is the ball on this end, knitting end. Okay. And I'm going to knit and cast off with the knitting 4 stitches. All right, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4. And knit the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what you should have are 5 stitches over here, a big blank in the middle, and 5 stitches over here. There is a gap between here and here. Do not worry. That is not a problem. That's perfectly normal. We will fix that later, okay? Because we're going to put a neck ribbing on there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And purl across the other way. Do exactly what you do every other time. Okay, slip the first stitch, purl, 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 purl. Okay, but now I drop this one, put the ball aside, go back to my regular ball of yarn, which I want, it doesn't matter, and not to get confused with the other one. Okay, and I am going to slip the first stitch, purl, 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 purl. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of a shoulder here. Woohoo! You can kind of see how this is turning out. We've got some development. Okay. One more row and we're done. Okay. One more row and we're done. Because look, I'm serious. Like, it goes so fast. Remember, we're doing 13 and a half. I am now at 12. So by the time yeah, 12. So by the time I go across and back again, we're at the desired number of stitches, the desired length, and I will bind off the next time I knit. So this time I knit across, slip, 1, 2, 3, 4, switch the ball of yarn to this one. It's a little bit of a mess right now, but I'll fix it later. And slip, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I just gotta purl across and we're set. Ugh, my needle's all tangled up. Don't worry about the yarn. As long as your yarn is accessible, we're okay. Slip, 1, 2, 3, 4. Woohoo! And come on. It's getting all twisted because I keep turning in the same direction. I'm bad about that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now we're going to bind these off. See that super twist? That's because I keep turning it in the same direction. If I turned it the other way, it wouldn't twist as much. But since we're binding it off this time anyway, I'm not going to show you how to undo that. It doesn't really matter that much anyway. Bind off. Bind off. Bind off. Now this does not need a stretchy bind off. I will talk to you about a stretchy bind off later. Done. And then one more time you wrap it around and pull it through. Okay? So this is finito, man. Where's my scissors here? And I'm going to cut here so that I have enough to sew the top. If it goes off, like, don't worry. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. We fix a whole lot in the sewing and assembly. Okay, now I gotta get this little sucker off of here. And we will have the front of our sweater. And at this point, I'm thinking it might be a little big for my boy, but I don't really care if it's big. Whatever. But we're gonna check it and see. I'm gonna get my dolly down. Okay, and one more. And oops. Boom. So we have a sweater front. Let's take a look at this. Now because it's stockinette stitch, it curls and curls and curls and curls like crazy. Can't see very well there, so I'm going to put something else down so you can see. Okay, this is what it looks like. Remember this gap here? We are going to actually take the yarn from this side and we're going to sew it in right there before we do anything else. But I just want to show you what it should look like. So you have it going up and across the sides and across the sides and down. All right. So there is our sweater front piece. The back piece you will make in exactly the same manner, only you won't do this. Okay? You just go up to the top. Okay? Now, if you have like a really fat neck doll, which nobody has a fat neck doll, they don't make fat neck dolls. If you think you have a fat neck doll, you want a little bit of scoop in the back, that's up to you. You can do the same thing all over again, but dolls have itty bitty necks. Doesn't matter if they're huge or small or whatever. They're gonna have small necks. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is turn this off for now. I'm going to knit the back and then show you how they go together. Okay? Oh, wait, first, before we do anything else, we're gonna check it and make sure that it fits my doll. Let's see here. This is magic. Watch. Ha! See, it's like all. That's it. Give me the sweater. Look at that. Woo! Could not ask for a better fit. Look at that. Perfectamundo, man. All right, and then here is the net. Here's the armhole. See right here? Goes right under the arm. It's great. Good, 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 good. Good, good, good. This is a happy boy. He's gonna be happy with the sweater. Oh, look at how awesome I look already. Wow. Next, back of the sweater. Do you know what to do? Just do same thing, only don't do the neck part. Okay? So make one of those, and then I'm gonna make one of those, and then the next thing I'm gonna show you is how to do the sleeves, because we're gonna do 2 sleeves at the same time. It sounds like magic, and it kind of is. It's to keep them consistent. Okay? See you soon.